Sam Welding, Day 1 in Bali. So eventually, after 3 flights and 12,000 kilometres, my published Allan and myself landed in Bali. As soon as we stepped off the plane, the difference in temperature hit us. My clothes began to feel clammy and damp, and the air was like treacle. The humidity was sitting at about 80%, and the temperature was 31 degrees centigrade. We were driven to the hotel to get ready to meet up with the people from the East Bali Poverty Project. One of the first things we did was to look through all the fantastic project work and art that had been produced by the children of Christie Primary and Braehead Primary. Paper kilts, Scottish songs, Scottish slang, and a whole host of drawings, bookmarks and even friendship bracelets. We also looked at the educational booklets produced by the East Bali Poverty Project themselves, and met up with the founder David Booth, MBE. David had literally searched for the poorest village in Indonesia and had actually discovered an unknown village on the slopes of the Agung volcano in Bali. Unknown to anyone on the island, even the villages several kilometres away, Ban village had lain undiscovered for thousands of years. It literally was like finding a lost world. However, as sickness and disease were rife, David formed the East Bali Poverty Project and got to work addressing the poor nutrition and ensuring clean and safe water provision. There were no rivers, streams or piped water supply. David says that their water came from God because the only source was by harvesting rainwater. However, all the water was highly polluted with E. coli bacteria. There was also very bad sanitation. Most people had never even heard of a toilet. Now, the East Bali Poverty Project are focused on education. We discussed what we might do in our visit over lunch and then set off for the Agung volcano and their volunteer quarters. On leaving the city of Denpasar, we headed east along the southern shore of Bali and then up round the eastern edge of the island, the gigantic outline of the Agung volcano ever present. We zigzagged through busy villages and towns, skirted rice paddies, and eventually wound our way down towards our accommodation in Tayinar. It was dark by the time we got there, and we settled in. As I write this, the light of my iPad is attracting a wonderful variety of moths and mosquitoes, but more about them later. There are just so many interesting things to see here that I've decided that it might be useful to include a section called Features and Creatures whenever I do an update. So today's feature is one of the biggest landmarks in Bali. It's an active volcano in the eastern part of the island called Mount Agung. It stands 3,031 metres above sea level and forms part of a chain of volcanoes that jut out like a backbone all the way across the island. Called Gunung Agung in Indonesian, it means Great Mountain. It's very special to the Balinese people and is home to the mother temple of Besakih. The whole mountain was supposed to have been formed when the Hindu god Pasupati split the spiritual axis of the universe, Mount Meru, and then made Agung from one of the fragments. In Bali, many of the people are very spiritual and have a whole host of ceremonies and beliefs. Today's creature is a giant millipede. Although millipedes look pretty scary, they are in fact vegetarians. They rummage through the rotting leaves and actually do a good job mixing everything up, a bit like earthworms do in the soil. They're also our oldest known land animal, and there is even a bit of Scottish link here because the oldest example of a millipede ever found was uncovered in Scotland. This particular beastie was crawling through the leaf litter of a tropical rainforest in the Scottish Highlands over 428 million years ago. I'm also going to finish off by trying to pick up an Indonesian phrase each day. Today's phrase is terima kasih, which means thank you in Indonesian. The terima bit means receive and the kasih part means to give. So this is a beautiful greeting. I hope you'll keep tuning in to find out much more about Bali and its wonderful people. Bye till next time.